I wish I would have known more about what Sister Missionaries wear before I went on my mission, because I was, in my mind, I was thinking, okay, like Sister Missionary, like guys go and get suits. So I was like, yeah, like, blazer and skirt, like matching, type thing. And then I got there and they're like, we don't really want you to match your clothes. We really want you to be approachable, wear bright colors, get some, sweaters and different things. So I kind of had to revamp my wardrobe a little bit when I got there, but that was okay. It's just good to know ahead of time that you don't need suits. You don't want to be gray or black or brown, just suit. You want to have like really approachable clothes that people want to come and talk to you, and they're, not like, why are all these people like business suit? I think that's what they wanted to feel. They didn't want it to be like a business area. And so one cool thing about Temple Square though is that every transfer, the first, what day is it? I think it's usually like the first Monday after transfers on Wednesday, they have it's called the Sisters DI. And so all the sisters that are leaving bring all their clothes before they go out of the mission. And then all the new sisters coming in, and whoever else wants to go can go down there and look through the clothes and be like, oh, hey, this is what I want. And it's all free, right? Because it's just like an exchange clothes. So that was helpful for me to like get some more bright clothes and things like that. I didn't have to go and buy them. They were there. Same with like winter coats. I brought a lot of winter coats, but they had so many winter coats in that area that like sisters that had just left them. They're like, I don't want to carry this back with me home. It's huge and heavy and I have other things I want to take in my suitcase. So there was lots of things like that. I don't know if they still do that, but it was going on my whole mission. So it was helpful. I mean, it's cold in the winter, but you're going inside and outside constantly. So, you're walking around the square and it's snowing and you're talking to someone and then they look cold. And so you bring them inside a building, right? So you don't have to be like, you don't have to have like huge, heavy winter, coats and things like that, because otherwise you're just constantly taking it off and on. So, snow's there and you're going to be in the snow, and it gets hot there in the summer and it's really warm. So, I mean, dress Utah weather, but it's pretty nice being on the square because like in the winter, the buildings are heated, in the summer they're air conditioned. So either way, you're always going to be like temperature controlled. As far as safety goes on Temple Square, the sisters, I would say it's definitely the safest mission you could go to because of the security guards. They have signals that they tell the sisters to use. If you're talking to someone, you feel really uncomfortable, you don't know how to get out of the situation, you do like the little signal for the security guard and he'll come over and he'll talk to the person and you can leave. Or you have different code words that you can use. If you're talking to someone, you can tell your companion the code word and then she'll call security and they'll come, and just to get you out of any situation you don't feel comfortable in. If you're going through a tour through like the Beehive House, or there's other areas on Temple Square that you would go through and you wouldn't be able to like contact a security guard really easily, you'd have a little, you take with you, it's like a little button thing that you can push for security and they will come. But you really want to be careful not to push the button unless you want security to come. There was a couple times I was in a Beehive House assignment and the security guard would come running in and I'd be like, did somebody accidentally push the button because they forgot to take it off their skirt or something? They sat on it when they sat down in the back and then the security guard came running. So they're really careful to make sure the sisters are safe. They'll go to anything that they can. Even though there was never an instance when I was in the Beehive House that they actually needed security, but I think it was probably like at least 5 or 6 times where security guards came and they didn't even need to be needed. So they weren't like, well, you're just doing this all the time, we're not going to come. They would always come running and they'd be out of breath and they'd be like there waiting. And so they're really precautious of the sisters. There's certain ways that we have to walk home at night so that the security cameras can watch us walk home. We're not allowed to tell anyone where we live, things like that, just to make sure that we're safe on Temple Square. I'm trying to think if there's anything else to do with security. There's cameras everywhere. So, yeah. But yeah, it's a safe mission for sure.
So bike shorts are a must, especially if you're biking. Especially if you're coming to Utah. Because it's important to keep yourself modest. Either way. But in other missions, if in like outside of the country or something, if you're riding a bike and your skirt may fly up a little bit, no one's going to know that that's your garments. No one's going to know that that's what it is. They're going to think it's like bike shorts or something. But in Utah, everyone will know if your skirt like flies up a little bit. So bike shorts are definitely a must just to keep yourself modest. Also, shade shirts are like essential. Like I wore a shade shirt almost every day of my mission. And you know, serving in Utah, especially serving in Orem, we do have the Sister Missionary Mall, and we have a lot of different things within our mission and a lot of modest clothing. Like, just buy stuff here before you go. I think that's super important. People are going to tell you, you know, you're the face of the church, and it's kind of true because people hear about it. And there's actually an experience that I had. So my companion and I, last December, we made Christmas cards and sent them to all the leadership of the stake, our mission president, and then with the rest, we just sent them home. And so we had someone like actually take like professional photos for us, and it was super cute, and I loved it. And we sent it to one of the bishops of one of the wards, and he hung it up on his fridge, and his less active daughter was like, "Those Sister Missionaries aren't frumpy. Like, they are really pretty. They're like, they look good. They're taking care of themselves," and that really impressed her. So, like, I wasn't a huge advocate of makeup on my mission. Actually, like, half my mission I didn't wear makeup. But always looking your best is essential. Don't wear just t-shirts, because that does not look professional. But, I don't know, for safety, you can accept rides from people on the street. Don't be afraid of that, because it's all good. Like, people aren't going to hurt you. But at least I hope they're not going to hurt you. They never hurt me, so yeah. On the website, it will tell you not to wear a maxi skirt. Some mission presidents, like my first mission president, he didn't mind if we wore maxi skirts. His only stipulation was you had to be able to see your feet, so it had to be like ankle length and higher. But my second mission president, they were in the process of deciding whether or not maxi skirts were okay, but for the time being they weren't okay, which wasn't okay. Well, it was okay, but it was inconvenient because I had a lot of maxi skirts. But if you wear a maxi skirt biking, it can get caught in your spokes. That's when you have to worry about that. But I would just tie my skirts and I would be fine. But I was never really nervous about biking. Even in like my first area where it was a little bit ghetto, we would ride our bikes to this apartment complex and down like this dark alleyway, and it was a little bit scary, but we were fine.
One of the things that was really important in our mission as far as clothing is that you brought warm things, because in Salt Lake it gets pretty cold, especially the farther east you go. We had the inversion for months and months and months and months, which is just like this dark cloud. There's no sunlight. It's really depressing. So I would say like make sure you bring warm clothes, but also like a lot of sisters like towards the end of my mission started buying like pencil skirts, and like those are great, but half of the sisters were on bikes. And it's really hard to bike in a pencil skirt. So I would say don't, like, have a pencil skirt for like district meetings, but don't have your whole wardrobe be a pencil skirt, because otherwise you're going to rip your skirt, which happened to my companion. It was really great. I'd also say like cardigans. Always, like I had at least 15 cardigans by the end of my mission, because it's either really hot or it's really cold, or it's really hot, really cold. And then you have a shirt on and you can just take that off, on or off, which was helpful. I think some of the standards regarding jewelry have changed, but like I don't think I could wear this necklace then. I think maybe now you could. So up to your discretion. Like if you feel like anything is too flashy, don't wear it. You're representing Jesus Christ, not jewelry. As far as safety, I mean, generally like our mission president didn't really like us to be out late at night, especially if we were teaching like males, and we always had to have a third sister there, which is in the white handbook. But if we were on bikes, we usually had to be in a little bit earlier than most of the elders did, because in some of the scarier areas like Rose Park or West Valley or Magna, you need to be home sooner than some of the other elders, especially if you don't have a car.